Onto your markets news now. Asian markets closed mixed today, with Chinese markets the notable losers on the day. The Nikkei share average rose by 0.28%. The Hang Seng index closed flattish, down 0.05%, while the Shanghai Composite Index declined by 1.45%. US stocks continued on their lackluster tone following Wednesday's declines, with the post-election rally which drove those markets higher in the immediate wake of President Trump's victory appearing to have lost momentum. Following on from Wednesday's CPI data released, producer price inflation data showed a 2.4% increase in PPI for the month of October on a year-on-year basis, while month-on-month it rose by 0.2% in line with expectations. The Dow Jones Industrial Average ended the session down 0.5%. The S&P 500 declined by 0.64%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index lost 0.64%. The all-share index making a bit of a turnaround. It's up 0.4% at 84,061 index points. The rand's currently trading at around 18.80 against the US dollar, 23.04 vis-a-vis the British pound, and 19.22 against the euro. Gold is trading at $2,568 an ounce, while platinum's trading at $953 an ounce. Brent crude oil is hovering just under $72 per barrel. All right, I'm joined by Devin Scooter. He's the head of investments at the Robert Group. Thank you very much, Devin, for joining us. So what are your reflections when you look at the week that was on global markets?
Nompul, hi. Yeah, you said it, a bit lackluster, right? We really got used to some fireworks post that US election. And I think what we're seeing here is investors trying to position themselves after that incredible Trump bump that we saw across risk assets. So, yeah, I think a healthy breather after that euphoria. And I think the key challenge for market participants here is to try and make sense of what does the environment look like, the political environment look like in the US from next year. And I don't think there's a very obvious answer to that. And I think hence you're seeing, a very strong run up and then maybe just a little bit of a breather here.
Yeah. So the local bourse has not had the greatest of weeks. What's your reading of sentiment, especially in light of the Donald Trump presidency?
Yes, look, I think there's heightened uncertainty for all those reasons. What does it mean to us here on the tip of Africa with foreign policy, with trade, with investment flows? All of those are unknowns at this stage. What we do know is we're not high on the priority list there. So I think we do have some time to see how that plays out. But what you are seeing globally is across the board, there has been dollar strength, which has weighed on emerging markets quite significantly. You then couple that with, a weaker Chinese backdrop, although we did get some more positive numbers out today from them, particularly on the retail sales side. And all of that boded for kind of a softer market. We had the JSE lower this week. The Rand hit 3-month lows this week as well. And so, yeah, I think we've probably got quite a way to go before we get some clarity on what that election outcome in the US will mean for us and other emerging markets.
Yeah. So you touched on the dollar strength. The local currency has all but lost the gains that it made before. Is this likely the reality for the balance of the year going into 2025? And what does this spell in terms of what the MPC will likely decide next week on interest rates?
Yes, that's a fascinating one. My sense is that they will probably continue their measured approach of cutting by 25 basis points. I think they will have a very keen eye on what's happening in the US and the Fed specifically. And yeah, absolutely. We're talking about the dollar there. We've got Fed Chairman Jerome Powell come out and saying that he sees the rate of rate cuts could slow. The reason for that is good is because they see the economy being a lot more resilient than maybe expected. But that's feeding into stronger dollar and the weaker rand on our side and maybe pause for thoughts on rate cuts. So I think our Reserve Bank governor is well within his rights to cut. I mean, we don't have an inflation problem here in South Africa. I think he probably should from a growth perspective. But yeah, there's no certainty. We'll have to wait till Thursday.
Yes, indeed. And then, of course, the big news this week was Bitcoin going crazy, breaching 93,000 US dollars. Do you think it has much scope to go up? Because obviously it went up in line with the euphoria around Donald Trump, but stock markets have calmed down. The price of Bitcoin has also calmed down, but it's still not that far away from $90,000.
Yes, I mean, you know, Bitcoin and I guess the bond market have been pretty good indicators to show you where the election outcomes were, and then enjoyed that kind of release of animal spirits after you saw the Trump victory. I think what's been interesting for me in this rally has not just been Bitcoin, but rather broadening out in the crypto market to a lot of the alternative coins. And I think a lot of that actually has to do with increased money supply and liquidity that we saw come in after the election results. We've also got the Trump administration who's explicitly crypto friendly. So I think kind of a combination of all of those gave this asset class a really big bump. We are seeing some profit taking as well in line with other asset classes today. So yeah, it's a fascinating one, and one we're going to definitely be watching closely.
Thanks very much. And one more question. Barlow World, they came out with a trading statement, or their statement for the year. They're going to be releasing their results on the 25th of November. They indicate that HEPS are likely to, that is a headline earnings per share, pardon me, are likely to decline by around 20 to 21%, somewhere there, attributing this to their disposal of a couple of assets or a couple of businesses. Your quick thoughts on them?
Yeah, I mean, I think those were kind of in line with what the market was expecting. I think what was very interesting is the updates on the potential takeout by the consortium, which is led in part by the CEO. So a management buyout, if you want, along with a Saudi group there. And I think they've really got eyes on the Caterpillar dealer network. Their market is up as a result of that. But yeah, there might still be quite a way to go, and yeah, the board's looking at it closely to see the value of the transaction for shareholders.
All right, Devin, thank you so much for your time and insights there. Devin Scooter, he's the head of investments at the Robert Group.